We're joined now by Meagan Kurnat, the Marketing Manager for West Bloomfield Parks. Meagan, welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, glad to have you with us. How are you? How's the team over at West Bloomfield Parks doing?
We're good. We kicked off summer camps today, so that's kind of great to. They're much smaller than usual, but it's great to see some kids running about, and it feels a little bit normal, so it's good.
It's interesting that you say that summer camps are going. A lot of those have been canceled. You say it's on a smaller scale. So how is that working? Having kids in these summer camp programs, what's kind of the way that workflow works, and how are you maintaining safety guidelines for these kids?
Yeah, so we've reduced the size of our camps significantly, but we really feel it's an essential service to offer to the community. So they're much smaller, like I said, but they're also hosted all outdoors. So typically we do a mix of indoor and outdoor, but this year we are going to be outdoor as much as possible. All of our camp counselors are remaining with the same small group of kids, so there's not really a lot of intermingling between those pods of kids. And then we're also doing health screenings every single day.
Meagan, I'm sure there are a lot of parents extremely excited to have their kids participate in the camps again. But as adults as well, I know you guys have an exciting thing that's going to be returning to the parks. Do you want to talk about that?
Absolutely, yeah. So we are able to host our Marching Music Series, which is our concert in the park series that we've been hosting since I think we started in like the 70s. So it's one of our favorite annual traditions here in West Bloomfield. This year is absolutely going to look very different from previous years, but we're just happy that we're able to offer some live entertainment. So whether residents are participating in person at the park or whether they're tuning in on our Facebook Live page or on Lakes FM, we hope that a lot of people will take advantage of it.
So tell us a little bit about the series. When is the first concert and who is your first act?
Yeah, so we kick off the series this Wednesday, and it will go for 3 consecutive weeks. Each evening, we have two bands, so a wide variety of different genres of music. This week, our first band is a country band, and then our second band is Motown. So we're excited to have that kind of mix put together into one night. We have limited participation to 100 participants. When we initially were planning on offering the series, we were hoping to have at least 250, but since we haven't moved into phase 5 as a state, we are limiting attendance to 100. So we are asking people to pre-register by card and let us know how many people they're bringing with them. The first concert as well as the third concert are both sold out, but there is a little bit of space in the second week. So if you are interested in joining us, hop on today or give us a call and get registered.
So how is this actually going to work? How are you going to keep people separated and talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Marchbank Park is a really big park anyway. So with 100 people, we're going to have more than enough room for everyone. But in order to be extra careful, our park staff, our fabulous park staff, is going out to the park the morning of the concert, and they're going to be painting lines across the concert hill, and they are spaced 12 feet apart vertically. So we're just asking families to stay, right on the line there, and then make sure you keep enough space on either side of you. But that will just help to make sure that people visually know how much space we're hoping to have between the different groups. And then we'll also have 3 food trucks in the park that night. So we will be forming a line with cones and making sure those are spaced out appropriately. We will also have our sponsors in the park. And so we're just asking participants to make sure that they, maintain those social distances when they're interacting with our local business community as well.
I would imagine the musical acts are so excited to be able to perform live again because that is another industry that has taken such a huge hit.
Yeah, absolutely. We've received nothing but really positive feedback. I think people are just excited to get back and do what they love. A lot of the bands that we hire, this is something they just do for fun. And so I think they really miss that, and they're just excited to have the opportunity to get out and play.
If we can shift a little bit away from the music in the parks, the concerts in the park, and just talk about the parks in general, how have you and your team been handling all of this? And I know that once the parks reopen, you see the signs about COVID-19 in the parks. But what are you telling parents that are bringing their kids? Because they, kids, there's still a lot of playing and a lot of, germs and this, that, and the other. So it's really kind of up to the parents to be responsible.
Yeah, I mean, we do the best that we can to keep our parks clean and install signage to encourage people to keep distances and wash their hands and all of those things. But ultimately, it is up to the individual families to keep an eye on that type of thing. Our parks have been just exploding in popularity since COVID started, so we're kind of figuring out how to navigate this new normal as we're seeing so much traffic in all of our parks. But it's really a great thing. It's not something that we're complaining about internally. We're happy. We love seeing, so many people using the park, and it's really an appreciated amenity in the community now more than ever. So, we just try to remain positive about it. And we're just trying to make sure we're encouraging people when we do see them in the park. If we're noticing, some behaviors that maybe are troublesome, we try to just remain positive and try to encourage those good behaviors.
Meagan Kurnat with us, the marketing manager for West Bloomfield Parks, with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Even beyond the concerts and the summer camps you mentioned, there are still other programs that are ongoing, both virtual and non-virtual. What are some of those other notable programs that you typically see from West Bloomfield Parks over the summer that either have been modified for virtual or are still ongoing, but in just a more limited capacity?
Yeah, so we're really focusing on adding a lot of virtual programs so that we can make sure we're still offering things for those community members that aren't comfortable coming and gathering. And then we're also adding programs that are outdoor, so small outdoor recreation programs. We're adding them almost weekly. So we're in the process right now of putting together a midsummer guide because our initial summer guide that was mailed out in April, a lot of those programs had to be canceled. So we're putting together all of the things we've been working on over the past 6 weeks, and we plan on publishing that by the end of the month. So hopefully everyone can check out our website or social media, sign up for email blasts because we're constantly adding new things. As far as virtual goes, we are doing a lot of social type programs for our senior community in particular. We have some virtual Tai Chi, some exercise programs as well. And then as far as in-person programming goes, we're really relying heavily on our nature staff because nature is something that we love and what we spend a lot of our time teaching about and enjoying here in West Bloomfield. So we're adding some open hours at our outdoor natural play area. We're doing hikes and just some different seasonal themes for families to take advantage of.
So I would imagine the parks has really become an outdoor classroom for kids to be able to explore again. It seems like we got away from that. So what are your top 3 programs that you think the kids should really get into it and enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, well, our Mommy and Me hikes have always been really popular. Those are free. We're definitely increasing our number of free programs as well, just because we want to see families, we want people to get out and recreate. So I would say that one. We've also been doing some outdoor yoga at Marshbank Park, which has been really fun. And I think it's a beautiful park and a great place to do outdoor fitness anyway. So that kind of lended itself really well. And then we're hoping to be able to offer our very popular Kids Commotion concert series this August. So if all goes well with the Marshbank Music Series, we're planning on following a similar format for Kids Commotion. So initially those were planned back in May and June. And so we hope to have a few of those in August. So stay tuned, hopefully, for that.
How much, you said the parks have exploded. How much do you think your activity has increased during this pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a great way to track foot traffic or anything like that. But I just know that every time I've drove into one of our parks, especially all of the walking paths and the West Bloomfield Trail, the nature preserve, any of those trail type amenities within our parks are especially very busy. And now that we've reopened some of our park amenities, such as pickleball, that's always very, very busy, our tennis courts. So I don't have like a solid number, but just any time you visit throughout the day, it doesn't even matter if it's morning or in the evening, they're just all really busy.
Yeah, I think people don't realize how many programs you do actually provide beyond just when you think parks, you're thinking, the playground or the trail, but you have so much going on and so much to offer. What's the best way for people to figure out everything that's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, just because everything changes weekly, it seems like, in this crazy COVID new normal that we're kind of operating in. I just keep recommending to people to sign up for our weekly email blast because that's going to have the most up-to-date information. And anytime we add something, it's going to go in there. So you can just sign up right from the homepage of our website. So I would encourage people to start there.
So when we're talking about the one thing I love is the trail. How far does the trail actually go? Does it connect to Clinton River and then all the way up? And I will say, I live on the trail, and I'm like you. I see it's so much busier now. So what are good times for people to go?
Yeah, so the West Bloomfield Trail is about 7 miles long, and it does connect to the brand new beautiful Airline Trail to our west, and also the Clinton River Trail to our east. So it's great for walkers, runners, but also bikers too that want to go a little bit farther than 7 miles. So we have our biggest trail entry point is at Arrowhead Road, and that's where the biggest parking lot is. So we try to kind of direct people to start there. There's also a great access point there for the West Bloomfield Woods Nature Preserve, which is a beautiful 165-acre nature preserve. So you're in West Bloomfield, but it doesn't really feel like you are because you're in the middle of the woods, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Lots of wildlife. So we usually encourage people that are maybe unfamiliar with the trail to start there because you can check out both. And then we also just want to remind users to keep in mind that it is only an 8-foot wide trail. And so when you see people that are trying to pass, just make sure you're being respectful of other trail users, especially with all of the increased foot traffic that we're seeing. So just stay to the right if someone's trying to pass you. Just be courteous to other park users. A little bit of kindness goes a long way, especially right now.
Real quick, I do want to ask you one question with the concert series. Do people need to wear a mask when they attend that now with the new order?
So we're encouraging people to bring a mask. So if you're using the restrooms, you would need a mask. If you're interacting with us or with the food truck vendors or any of the band members, so please do bring a mask. When you're sitting on the hill, outside with your family, you don't have to wear it the entire time or anything, but we do ask that you bring one with you.
Meagan Kurnat with us. She's the marketing manager at West Bloomfield Parks. Just another couple minutes with you, Meagan, before we got to let you go. Anything else you'd like to touch on today? Any other important information people should know from West Bloomfield Parks today?
Well, we are up for a millage renewal this August, so we have all of that information posted on our website. So I would encourage residents to check that out before they head to the polls in August. And then other than that, just stay tuned because we are working really hard to continue to add programs for you guys. It's been definitely a unique year and a bit of a challenge, but we're up for it. And it seems like people really are trying to get out and recreate. So every time we add something, it seems to be filling really fast, and people are just so grateful to have these resources available to them.
Well, Meagan, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. Meagan Kurnat, the marketing manager for West Bloomfield Parks, with us on the Oakland County MegaCast.